Hey gamers, Gecko here. If you've been around this channel for a while, you know that I've been playing Unika since she released. And I've learned a lot of different things about the character. And while I could hoard them all to myself and just put them on stream for when people ask, I think it would be in my best interest and the community's best interest to share some of the more important things that I know about the character. I have fought a lot of different players as Unika, and there has been one thing that a lot of them haven't known how to deal with. And that's Unika's corner pressure. So today we're going to go through the corner pressure step by step, go through the multiple layers of thinking and decision making that go on during it, show you how to do it, and most importantly, let you know what you can do against it. So let's hop in game, shall we? So Unika's corner pressure is based off of one very important move, her enhanced 6H projectile. As you can see, this move leaves her plus 12 on block, which is really good, but it gives us a very important sequence that we can do. Unika has a 12-frame startup fast slash. So what she's able to do is she's able to fast slash into fast slash and empowered shot in order to get 12 frames of advantage. This means that this sequence loops into itself indefinitely. Now, it's not 100% permanent, as you may be able to see from me doing it currently. I am slowly moving backwards away from my initial position. This is obviously enhanced with the opponent FDing, but if you give it a long enough time, Unika will eventually... Fuck, I messed up the sequence before I messed it up. Eventually, Unika will push herself out of the range. Now, this is entirely dependent on the Unika that is playing. If you get the Kara dash cancel 100% perfect, you don't move as far compared to if you mess it up a little bit and do it too early or too late. And just to show you what it looks like with FD... as you can see, eventually pushes her out. Now, it is a very strong sequence. From a close slash, you're able to loop it about 3 times before you're forced to do another option. So it is something that most people on the cast are going to have to deal with. Now, there are absolutely benefits to this. I can't really represent this on the dummy, unfortunately, but since this true strings into this, the opponent actually can't mash out of it. If you set the Kai on block to mash 2P, that's a true string, you're not able to mash out of it. This means that if the opponent tries to do anything, they'll actually get a purple combo, which leads Unika to get a very easy combo from just fast slash, follow-up, Kara DP, and then from here you can break the wall. Very simple. Very scary to deal with. So what do you do against this if you can't mash out of it? Well, you got a couple of options. The one true universal option is to simply just jump out of it. As you can see here, I've got Kai to jump the moment that he blocks, and if I go for the setup, Kai immediately jumps out of it and gets out, no problem. This works on every single character in the game, as far as I know, but there are some other options that characters can do specific to them. A more universal option, but not a true universal option, is to simply 6P it. Now, the reason this isn't a true universal option is a little bit funky. It entirely relates on the distance that Unika is to the target. If Unika's right in their face, the likelihood is the 6P is going to connect, but if she's at further ranges, the 6P can whiff and it can lead to a punish counter. So 6P at your own risk, but that's not the only option that every character has. There are some more specific ones. For example, Potemkin, being the privileged motherfucker that he is able to potbuster out of the follow-up. Kai as well has a unique option, being Scum Dipper. Since it goes under the projectile and has fast enough startup, he's able to just send it. It doesn't full combo, obviously, and, you know, it being Scum Dipper. It's my turn now. But things like this do mean that there is a level of experimentation with your character that you should do. Generally, if your character has a low profiling move, you should try sending it just to see what happens. And if you're too scared to try that, or you're not able to afford Unika and you want to still lab it, I recommend just jumping out in the meantime. But what if you're the Unika? What if you're doing this pressure and your opponent is constantly jumping out of it? Well, this is where we get onto layer 2. As you probably already know, fast slash puts you in Unika's enhanced state, meaning that you're able to use any of her enhanced moves. This means we have a lot of options of what we want to do next out of this. 2 of these options interact with jumping extremely well, this being her 4 and 6K. Her 6K is the easy one to explain, so I'll show it first. By simply doing 6k, you're able to catch anyone the moment they go into jump. And from that, with 50 meter, you're able to get a full combo that has a safe jump at the end. Wow. This is the easiest one because you don't even have to carry it. You can just send it normally. I still recommend carry dash canceling it if you're not an idiot and don't suck like me. And as long as you don't royally fuck up the carry dash input, you should still be able to get it from most ranges. The downside to this option is that if they block it, Unika kind of loses her turn. Only kind of. As you can see from the frame advantage, Unika is -3 after enhanced 6k. It does still thankfully leave her out of throw range, even if they just block it, so you don't have to worry about immediately getting punished. But if the opponent mashes a fast button, you have to block it. Unless you want to go for a risky DP, but I wouldn't say it's worth it. You can, of course, Roman cancel it if you wish to continue the pressure, which works pretty well. It also has a very, very, very tight gap between the far/follow-up and the low. So if the opponent mashes anything, they'll actually get counter hit out of it. Now, you do still have to be careful because if they want, they can throw you out of this option. However, this is an extremely hard read. I've yet to have it happen to me at all. And while it does look very cool, I highly doubt it's going to be happening. But what about 4K? Well, 4K is a little bit of a weird one. If you've ever used 4K, you know that it is negative on block, specifically -6, meaning the opponent could get a pretty small punish opportunity off of you. However, if you're able to get it on a jumping opponent, it goes from -6 to +5. Depending on the distance, this can be really good. However, if you manage to carry dash it, you end up directly in front of the opponent's face. Makes this in with a jump, and you're able to jail into the close slash. Well, jail. You have about a 2-frame gap between the opponent recovering and you being able to do your close slash. Unfortunately, the opponent isn't able to throw you out of that one. So, if they block while in the air, they kind of have to take the close slash that's coming to them, unless they have a DP. I actually forgot to mention this earlier. You can, of course, DP out of the 6H if you have it. It's very easy for characters with DP to just get out of the pressure, and if Unika's close enough, they can just kill her like that. Now, there are 2 answers to this, but we'll get onto them a little bit later. Just know that if you have a DP, you're able to DP through every single option that we've gone through so far. There is one pressure sequence you're not able to DP through, and if you are the Unika, do not fret. If you do an empty dash cancel into FD, you're able to beat most DPs. And of course, you get a full counter hit combo from it. This is very mind gamey and is something you have to pay attention for. And if you're the other person, you can simply throw her out of the dash cancel. You can mash a fast button to hit her out of the dash cancel. Any way that you would normally deal with dash cancel, you can beat Unika with it. But if you don't have the DP, this is the hell that you're going to be put through. You can try to jump in order to get away from this, but you could be caught by this, or put into the blender again with this. If the Unika is close to you, you can try to throw her so that you get her out of this, and you get her out of this. But if you do that, you're going to get counter hit by this, and you don't want to be counter hit by that. And if you have the ability to, you can 6P so that you beat this, and you beat this, but you lose to this. This is the main RPS cycle of Unika. Having the opponent cycle through these 3 options of throw, jump, or 6P is something that you're going to have to pay attention to. And making sure that you choose the correct option in order to beat the opponent whenever they do any of these is very important. Now, some of these are obviously spacing dependent. If you're too far away from Unika, you're not going to be able to throw her cannon. And you'll simply get counter hit and put into the cycle again. Something very important about Unika is that if she lands a 6H, she can go straight into 6H once again. If the opponent is respecting you and letting you just get away with this, you're going to be doing this a lot until you get to about max close slash range, in which case you need to spice it up with either a low or a carry dash overhead. Both of these have their benefits and downsides. The low gives a hard knockdown on hit, but doesn't really combo into anything unless you Roman cancel it. The overhead gives a softer knockdown, meaning that you're not able to really get a safe jump or reset your pressure as effectively, but it combos off of counter hit. If you catch it raw, you actually do get a full combo off of it as well. A pretty damaging full combo, might I add. Like, yikes. But then the question becomes, what do you do with meter? Obviously, if you have the meter, you're able to just combo off of any of the 3 options if you hit them, and get a full wall break into a very significant amount of damage. This, of course, works from every option, and you're able to end the combos early if you really just want that safe jump. But what if you don't just want to send them through the corner? What if they're just respecting too much, they're blocking all the mix-ups? What if you need something a little bit more potent? Well, this is the part of the video where I stop showing you the RPS and I start showing you a little bit of weirdo shit. So, there is a unique property of dash cancel in this game where it technically puts you into a neutral state the first couple of frames. This is why you're able to do Kara dash cancel. You cancel the dash with your neutral frames into a special move. And because of the way that Unika's stance works, that special move can just be a simple input. But there's more that we can cancel into from this neutral state. For example, if you Roman cancel in a neutral state, you get a blue Roman cancel. So what you're able to do is if you Kara dash your follow-up, you're able to get a blue Roman cancel. Now, this is where we get into a lot of weirdo shit. From here, Unika is able to run a pretty bullshit game. What we do is we Kara dash into blue. From there, we end up being +6 to +10 in the opponent's face, depending on how quickly you executed the Kara RC. See, we're +10. From this, we're able to do two distinct options. The first one is close slash. As you can see there, that's not a bug. Unika becomes +26 in the opponent's face after close slash on BRC. This can lead to a lot of bullshit. From here, Unika can go straight into her stance and go into an overhead or low, both of which the opponent's not able to match out of, because remember, they're -26. Or she can go for a fuzzy setup. I had to set the opponent to standing so that I could show the fuzzy setup. I really apologize, but this is kind of what it looks like. That's a true fuzzy setup. Like I said, bullshit. She's also able to get a high-low mix-up from it, kind of similar to how Ram is. So you can do a high option, or you can land and do a low option. And of course, we have our old trusted empty jump throw. All of these are extremely powerful. But the most important part is, since we're +10 in the opponent's face, it actually jails from the far slash follow-up. It's the only one of these that truly jails. As you can see, I have the opponent set to DP the moment that they block, just to test out that it's working. Yep, there we go. And if we hit it correctly, boom. It true jails. Not just that, but if you go for the fuzzy setup, the fuzzy setup also true jails. Boom, like that. Meaning you can get a true high-low unreversible mix-up from this. With a little bit of extra meter, you can make that fuzzy setup do a shit ton of damage as well. Now, Mark, this is good news. It's a really potent option that really opens up Unika's offense in the corner. If you do it correctly, you're able to actually loop this bit of the sequence into itself, assuming you have enough meter. But that's not the only option we have from this. If you've somehow got the opponent to respect the close slash after this, you're actually able to do another option. Go straight into 6H. Now from here, we can do our high-low mix-up. The high gains a bunch of different properties from this. If the opponent doesn't block the high, you're actually able to get a true combo off of that. This can lead into a safe jump. This can lead into a wall break. It is a very potent combo. There's a wall break variant. And there's the safe jump variant. Granted, that safe jump was a little bit messy, but you get the idea. But that's not all. Remember how the overhead is normally -6? Well, if the opponent blocks it, you're actually +4 in their face. Now, this isn't the greatest frame advantage ever, but it's still pretty good and pretty easy to work with. If the opponent instant blocks it, the likelihood is they'll try to go for a throw, but you're able to counter this with any way that you would deal with throw. So, tech it, jump it. Unfortunately, you can't make a frame trap from what I can tell. But if you don't think the opponent's going to throw it, it's a very easy way to start your close slash pressure again. Now, because of all of this, the overhead is extremely scary. So what does the low get? Nothing. Unfortunately for Unika, the low gains no added properties because of this tech. it lasts just a little bit too long for the block stun of BRC to really begin affecting it again. So it is still -3, but it still gives a hard knockdown. If you really want to go this route instead of using the close slash, you can start using the low as a mind game opportunity. A +4 overhead that combos freely from hit is an extremely strong option, so not many people are going to be expecting the low. It's all about interacting with your opponent and trying to figure out what they think is coming from this BRC. And finally, there is one more option that you're able to do. BRC tap 5D. This leaves Unika +5 in far/close/ range, depending where you started. So if I start here, I'll end in close/ range at +5. Again, 2 frames between the opponent going to neutral and your close slash, meaning a counter hit combo if they try to throw. Depending on the distance and the timing of your BRC, the opponent will be able to mash, but if you do it correctly, it actually catches as a frame trap. Again, it's very dependent on if you get the Kara cancel correctly, and a little bit spacing dependent. However, there is an option to just deal with the mash if you know it's coming, and that's to immediately send it. From this, you're able to get a full combo, which doesn't make a lot of sense, because normally, when you try to tap 5D counter hit combo, you don't? It's a very weird one. I'm not sure why it works like this, when most of the time when you get a counter hit 5D combo, you don't get a full combo. But I'm not complaining, you know? If you're finding someone who's very trigger happy, it can be a very good option. And of course, if they don't block the overhead, they take a full combo. Pretty good deal. So that's everything I've learned about Unika so far. I will say the third layer has a lot more stuff that needs to be explored. I learned a couple of things while actually making this video and recording everything. But hopefully it's given you an idea of how to play Unika when you get your opponent in the corner. Layer 1, you want to make sure they're eating as many of these off of far/far/ as possible. Once they begin to deal with it in different ways, like jumping, 6P'ing, and throwing, that's when you start mixing up your options. If the opponent shows they know how to deal with it, start throwing in blue RC and just go a little bit crazy with it. You'll be amazed with what you can get away with on this character. So, yep, that's the Unika corner pressure I have found. I hope you all enjoyed watching. If there's anything I missed, please leave it in the comment section below. I'm still learning a lot about this character, and I hope you guys learned a lot from this video. If there's anything about this character you'd like to see me talk about, please let me know. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye!